Imagine being on your job for many years without a hiccup, but on that one fateful day, you're supposed to be at your job site for 10 minutes, in and out, but end up never leaving. Let's get into it. Joyce Grayson, 63, was a longtime mental health nurse who was killed inside a Willimantic halfway house on Chapman Street during her first appointment of the day on October 28. When her family didn't hear from her and learned she had missed appointments, they called police, who said they had found a suspect leaving out the back door and discovered Grayson's body in the basement. Officers arrested Michael Reese, 38, but on lesser charges. Reese has not been charged in Grayson's death, but is in custody on more than $1 million bail at the Garner Correctional Institution while the Connecticut State Police investigate the homicide, which Willimantic Police Chief Paul M. Hussey called, and I quote, deeply troubling on many levels, and one of the worst cases I've ever seen in 27 years of law enforcement, end quote. As Grayson's family planned her funeral, following the discovery of her body in the Willimantic halfway house for sex offenders, healthcare providers around the state began to reconsider how they handle home visits.
State legislators to call for increased protections and security while on the job. This comes after the brutal murder of a visiting nurse in Willimantic over the weekend.
Nurse Joyce Grayson was a beloved mother as well as grandmother. She was very warm and caring. She dedicated her life to helping others, and she actually died doing what she loved. However, many argue she should have never been put in that position in the first place. Now, recently, lawmakers actually passed new legislation to help better protect healthcare workers in hospitals after they've seen an uptick in violence. However, following the death of Grayson over the weekend, healthcare workers and state lawmakers are looking into what can be done to increase protection for visiting nurses. Police say the suspect in this case is registered sex offender 38-year-old Michael Reese, who was arrested while carrying some of Grayson's belongings. Reese is currently facing charges including probation violation, possession of drug paraphernalia, and larceny. While the investigation continues, big questions remain, like if and why Reese and Grayson were left alone.
One agency is dusting off its largely ignored union contract that requires someone to escort nurses to potentially dangerous homes, said Senator Martha Marks on Friday. And Tracy Wododge, head of the statewide association that supports 80 home health care agencies in Connecticut, has redistributed suggested safety guidelines from 2016 to its members who are reeling over the death of Joyce Grayson, a dedicated nurse and mother of 6 who was described as a compassionate and giving person who fostered dozens of children over the years. However, Marks said most agencies don't have written safety protocols despite the association's guidance. She said, and I quote, "The agencies I've worked for, if I say I don't feel safe going in there, they take the patient away and give him to another nurse, causing her to worry about the safety of the other nurse," end quote. Less than 10 years ago, a police officer or a retired member of the force would accompany nurses to homes that seemed risky, but Marks and Wododge said those days are gone. Marks said, and I quote, "The only safety training we get is a videotape and it's all geared toward hospitals," end quote. Whenever you go into work, you shouldn't have to worry about if you're going to make it home that night. There should be protocols set in place to where these women can be protected, especially from these specific types of men. And come to find out, the people in the neighborhood didn't even know that that was a offender's living house.
There's little girls living next door. I have my nieces sometimes come here and my granddaughter sometimes.
Juan Ruiz didn't know the home he's lived next to for 2 years was a transitional house for registered sex offenders to get back into society.
No, I did not know that. That's why I'm really pissed off. I'm really like, I can't even believe that.
How can you be discreet about something like that? This woman lost her life due to a lack of security and a lack of care, honestly, and it could have all been avoided. But rest in peace, Joyce Grayson, and condolences to the family. And to you healthcare people, y'all need to do something about this, because this is not acceptable. But y'all know what it is, man. I want you to like, comment, subscribe. Hit on me if you want to, but it ain't gonna stop nothing. I'm out.